We're trying to pick up the communications from the tank. Nice job, buddy. Turn your turret on, will you? Right back here. Mimic your turret. That's it. You got him.
Hey Tankers, Bonsai Duck here. Welcome to another week of Tanker Chat. So today being Sunday, I had a little issue with yesterday's recording. So I got up Saturday to record Tanker Chat, went through all the news and all that, and channel update, the whole 9 yards, and put it on my system, and thought, okay, I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, and then I'll come back and I'll edit it and we'll get it up there. So I did that, came back, come to find out that the microphone was having issues. And so the sound on the recording was just garbage. By the time I worked all that out, my son-in-law had come into the office to start his work day. So I couldn't record, because he was in here working. So, anyway, so today being Sunday, pretty much it's not like there was a ton of news out there yesterday. So I thought, well, you know what? They've released the new Polish mediums on the common test. So why don't we take a little quick look at those? I tried to play a couple of them yesterday, but I couldn't get a game on the common server. It was just like I said, there's like a 4-minute timeout. If you sit in a queue for 4 minutes, it kicks you out of that queue and says, "Hey, your allotted queue time has expired." But I could not get a game. So so I won't have any games to show you. I'll try to get some, but I just haven't been able to pull up a game in the common test. As far as the channel update goes, we'll get that going. YouTube got a bunch of videos. Got to re-record a bunch of those today because of the microphone. And let's see, Twitch. I should be streaming today somewhere between 10 and 11 Central Time. We'll play an hour or so on the EU server, and then maybe an hour or so on the North American server. Been kind of got to cut it back because been spending my evenings playing ranked battles, and so the wife, has been okay with that, but I don't want to, get in any trouble. So, but been playing ranked. It's been a learning experience. This is the first season that I'm actually going through the whole season. Usually I get so frustrated. I got so frustrated I just gave up after the first day or so. But I'm actually playing every day. And it's getting easier, or I'm getting better at understanding the game. Understanding the tier 10 game. But it's getting easier. It's getting better every day. I shouldn't say it's getting easier because it's not. But that's interesting. And, actually I'm enjoying it without playing with the reward vehicles. So, anyway, without further ado, let's start going through these. The Polish mediums start at tier 5 and run to tier 10. So I'll do some quick I'll go fairly quickly through the tier 5, 6, and 7, and then through the tier 8s, 9, and 10. We'll look a little more in depth. So anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, so we start off with the tier 5. This is the DS Piziens. I don't know how you pronounce that. Anyway, it's a tier 5 medium. It's running, what is this got on it? Oh, we are running the 75 millimeter gun with 135, 175, penetration 135, 175. So, nothing extraordinary. As you can see, it's a sharp looking tank. I will give it that. It's got a pretty small turret. There's a nice little tumor right there. Pretty flat plated. Let's look at the numbers on Tanks GG. So 1396 DPM, 135 alpha, 135 penetration, a reload of 5.8. Rate of fire 10.3 rounds per minute. Now that's running the 6 gun. Okay, the tier 6 gun. Dispersion of 0.39. Paper wise, top speed 56. Does it show? A 350 view range. So I mean, it's Camo is a 15 and 11, so I mean it's not bad until it fires. Hull armor, yeah, but it's a tier 5, right? So, it's not a bad little tank for a tier 5. Let's see how it compares to the other tanks. So I've got 12 tanks listed here. There's far more at tier 5, but I kind of went through the ones that I would normally see on the battlefield at tier 5 when I play tier 5. So as we can see, the 135 again puts it towards the top, up there with the PZ4H and the STRV. Whereas some of the other ones are down below. Penetration wise, looking across the board, it's towards the top. All right. Rate of fire. Now we're seeing where it kind of goes down. It's starting to dip a little bit. Gun loading. Yeah, again, we're on the bottom side of that one. Traverse speed at 48. And it puts us right about somewhere in the middle. Okay. Depression, -8 and 15. Yeah, we're at the bottom, almost the bottom of the rung on that one. Next to the T-34. And as you can see, the T-34 is almost its identical twin, right? Aim time 1.97. Ooh, yeah, we're right up there, close to the top. We're almost right up at there at the top. I mean, yeah. Dispersion at 100 meters, 0.37. Well, we're in the upper portion of that one. Average damage per minute, 1,490. Well, put us in the lower portion of that. Hit points 590, straight across the board, except till you get to the P43 in that. So again, not the top, not the bottom. Hull armor. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's in the middle. Turret armor. Yeah, I would say it's in the middle. Now, let's speed-wise, 56 and 15. Yeah, right along there with the rest of them. Camo-wise. Ooh, it's got better camo than a lot of the tanks out there, at least until it fires. Even then, it's got pretty good camo. Moving, yeah, really nice camo. So, I mean, this thing could almost be a light, except that it won't keep its camo while it's moving. View range, 358. Next to the M4, we're right there. So, I mean, as far as the numbers go, again, it's not the best. It's not the worst. It's somewhere in the middle. And at least based upon these numbers, you can see that it looks like, at least at this level, they're putting it right in the middle of the pack, and not too good, not too bad. Some good things, some bad things, which is meaning that it's not going to be OP. So let's see what the tier 6 says. All right, so now tier 6, the buggy. It's almost the French duck-esque look of a tank. Nice rounded hull and rounded turret. Nice flat spots right there, and obviously right here. Yeah. Got a 90mm gun on this one. It does come with a bigger gun, like a derper. But not just kind of a unique looking tank. Be interesting to see how this thing does in a battle. So let's see what they say on Tanks GG. So the buggy. Again, we're gonna load the 90mm. Okay. So 1700 DPM, 240 alpha, 156 penetration, 8.3 seconds reload time, 7.23 rounds per minute, aim time of 260, dispersion of 0.40. Okay. Damage versus modules, 122, 90mm, 950 shell velocity, top speed of 55. Elevation of -8 or depression of -8, elevation is 20. Hull wise, it's not too bad. We'll see how it compares to the other numbers. Let's check out the 3D model. So as you can see, it's kind of got some funky bounces, some funky areas. Would it be a good side scraper? Well, I don't know, maybe. If you can poke and prod. Sidewise, yeah, you're gonna get tore up. So I think it's gonna have some funky bounces, right? As far as ammo goes, it fires the APCR and the HE. But I mean, for a tier 6, again, it's a tier 6. I don't play a lot of tier 6s, but it doesn't look too bad. But let's see how it compares to the other tanks. So we have 11 tanks in here to compare it to, including its brethren, the 40 TP. So if we look at it straight across, all of them, completely identical, top guns, 100% crew, brothers in arms, no equipment, no perks. We can see that on the average damage, it's a 240 alpha, so it puts it right there with the 40 TP, which those two tanks are the top right now. Average penetration of 156. Up there with the Firefly, which is a 177, but not too far away from the VK3002 or the Chai. So it's in the upper portion of that, the upper quadrant. Rate of fire, 7.71. Not as fast as the as the A43 or even the Cromwell. A little bit slower than the 40 TP, so it's at the lower rate there. All right, so it's not going to be just spewing shells. Load time 7.78. Ooh, oh my. Okay, gun traverse 37.33. Yep, at the lower end. Depression versus elevation, right about the middle, I'd say. Aim time 2.44. Yuck. Dispersion 0.38. Yeah, right in the middle, but at the lower end. Average damage 1851. Oh, goodness gracious. It beats its brother, the 40 TP, and that's about it. Hit points 840. Okay, yeah, in the upper side of that. The whole armor's not that great. Turret armor, yeah, it's in the upper portions. Engine power 700. Yep. Okay, so it's going to be that. But what's the speed on this? Top speed 55. I'm afraid you can roll this thing, but if you rolled over, since it's rounded, it might just keep rolling. 55 and 11. Yeah, not bad in the upper portion. Not as fast as the Cromwell or the VK3001D, but it's not too bad. As far as, it sucks. It's going to be seen from space. So, yeah. And a 368 view range. So, where would you put it? Well, I'd put it right in the middle, ahead in some areas, but kind of in the middle. But I think it's going to be an interesting tank. It's going to be one of those that it could be painful, but it could be a lot of fun. Again, I generally won't run the tier 6s. But that's just the numbers as they stand right now. So let's see what we got for tier 7. Okay, so here we are at the tier 7, the CS44. Still kind of got that rounded hull turret. You got this little spacer here. I mean, these tanks they're kind of strange looking at times, right? So, but, it's a tier 7. It could be kind of good. I don't know. Let's see what the numbers say. So if we look at the tanks GG, we've got 1,417 DPM, a 300 alpha, 168 penetration, 12.7 reload. Ouch. 4.72, and that's running the 100 millimeter gun. Yep, that's what we have on there. The 100 millimeter. 4.7 almost 5 rounds a minute, 2.10 aim time, 0.41 in the dispersion. So this thing, we'll see how it compares to the other tanks, but you're starting to get into that where dispersion and aim time and all that this is where we start, tier 7, you start running into the 9s and stuff like that. Top speed of 57. Hull armor is that's going to be a little, but again, we'll see how it does. Camo 1410, not too bad. 100 millimeter caliber. Let's see how the armor looks. Ooh, pinata alert. I think this thing is just going to get, even facing itself, it's going to have some damage. Now you can do a little bit of hold down, but this only has the 8 degrees -8 on the 6 -6. That's it. So you're not going to be really a hill poker on it, and it's not even a side scraper. I guess it could kind of be, but I mean, you've got some massive weak spots. All right, let's see how it compares to the 11 other tanks that I found that are just the standard tanks. So we have the Panther, the VK3002, the KV13, the Leo, the T34-1, the T43, the Comet, the T20, the T34-100, and the P43 Tur. Okay. 300 Alpha. That puts it in the top. Let's make sure I got the right gun on here. Yep, the 100 mm. Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't have the wrong gun. So 300 Alpha puts it above, except for the Leo, which is running the 105. Okay. Penetration with a 168. Oh, ouch. Yeah, okay. Not much penetration on that bad boy. Rate of fire 5.7. Bottom of the barrel. Reload time, bottom of the barrel. Gun traverse towards the bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel on depression and elevation. Aim time. Yep, it's at the top. So take you longer to load, but you'll be able to aim quicker. Dispersion at 0.38. At the upper end of it. And an average damage of 1500. Yeah, bottom of the barrel. Hit points of 1100. It's right in the middle. Hull armor frontally does good. Yeah. Turret armor frontally. Not bad. Let's see. Top speed of 57. Not the fastest, but not the slowest. And, towards the bottom when it comes to the camo rating. But then again, what did you expect? It really doesn't have that lean profile, right? So I think as compared to the other ones that you're going to see, like the Panther and the Comet, you're going to see those a lot. The Leos are out there a lot. The P43s are out there a lot. T20, of course. I think this one's going to be on the losing end of most of that. Based upon these numbers. But, it looks sharp. I'll give it that. All right, let's see. We got tier 8 coming up next. All right, here we are at the tier 8, the CS53. There is a tier 8 premium, the CS52, but they don't have that in the comment test, so I really can't show it to you. So first we'll take a look at it in Tanks GG, compare the two just on paper. Then I have the CS53 along with all the current Tech Tree standard tier 8 tanks that fit the same mode. So let's see how it goes. Bring this up here. All right, so here's the CS53 on paper. It's got a fairly decent DPM, 300 alpha, 212 penetration, 860 reload, 6.98. It's almost 7 rounds a minute. Aim time is 2.50, so that's not bad. I mean, dispersion 0.38, 0.18 at moving, so on and so forth. Shell velocity for the AP is 966. This thing will run heat or AP. So, with a 290 penetration if you're firing the heat. But, Speed 17, hull armor. Okay, so I mean, but it looks bad, and in the 3D model, it really looks bad. But it's not when you start looking at the numbers to the other tanks, right? So you can say, yeah, it looks scary. The CS52, a 2000 DPM, a 320 Alpha though. 208 on penetration, 960 on a reload, and 6.25 rounds per minute. 230 aim time, so a little bit better there. The dispersion is 0.36. Okay. Hull armor, a little bit better. But it has less gun depression, right? So that, I don't know. Shell velocity 988, 980. It can run the AP and APCR. Okay, so, and it's running a 105 gun. So let's compare the two together. All right. So we can see where the premium obviously falls down, but where it steps up. I mean, it's got, higher module damage. I didn't even know that was a thing. Caliber, it's a 105 compared to 100 millimeter. Potential damage is obviously up on the 53. So, but faster aim time, a little more faster going backwards, but less engine power, stuff like that. So, I mean, the 52 versus the 53, I'm sure we'll see a lot of the 52s prior to the 53 coming out, simply because it's a premium and people will get it, and it's a great crew trainer, right? So let's take a look at the armor on the 53. So if we look at the 3D model and we go to the live, that gives us the good idea here, and I think I was already there. You can see this thing is like a pinata. All right, there's really no way, even in a serious hull down, that you're going to. This is a sniper, a bush sniper, poke and shoot. It's just, you can't even really side scrape. It's just it's gonna be painful. I have a feeling. The 52, on the other hand, it can do some hull down. All right, it can do some side scraping, and it's got a fairly tough turret. There are some soft spots here. This whole midsection is just a pinata. So it'll be interesting. But again, when you start comparing the numbers to the rest of the Tier 8 mediums that are out there, they're all kind of soft, right? So here we go. Like I said, I took it against the 9 Tech Tree Tier 8 mediums that fit the criteria. They're turreted, they're not rear turreted, they're not auto-loading, stuff like that. All these have 100% crew with the top modules in them, equipment modules, like gun, turret, stuff like that. No food, no equipment like gun rammer or anything like that. So the numbers are just kind of as even across the board as I can make them. So as we see in the average damage, the CS53 is a 300 alpha. So it's not the best, but it's close. I mean, it's close to the best. All right, the TVP VTU, but I don't know, for those of you who have ground the Czech line up to the T50 and the T5051, the TVP VTU is got to be one of the most painful tanks to play. All right, I just absolutely hated it. I was so happy when I made it through that tank. So it had good alpha, but the reload was painful. It just, so for this to be compared to that tank or be close to that tank, kind of, it makes me go cringe a little bit. As far as penetration, okay, we're not the best, but we're not the worst. Okay, rate of fire 7.44. Okay, we're close to being the worst. The TVP VTU. So again, we're starting to see that comparison to the Czech line. Gun reloading. Yeah, again, we're kind of next to the TVP VTU, but we're not far off from the Chinese or the American. So, and as far as traverse, 42.67, not the best, but not the worst. Dispersion, -8 and 15, or depression. I'm sorry, depression elevation. Yeah, well, I would say, it's in the middle of the road. Aim time, 2.34. Yeah, it's not the best, but again, it's not the worst. Dispersion at 100 meters, 0.36. There's that closeness to the VTU again. And of course the Chinese. I can't speak to the Chinese because I haven't played that line yet. Average damage per minute. Right there with the STA. Nice. 2233. Yeah, not too far off from the Indian Panzer. So, hit points 1500. So it's at the lower end of that. But again, there's 3 tanks at that hit point range, right? As far as armor goes, if we look at it, it's 80, 60, 40 on the hull armor. It's better than the VTU, okay, but not as good as, say, the T-44. Turret armor, 130. It's not as good as the T-44, but it's better than the VTU. So, I mean, I guess you could say that it's got the Russian flavor in it, and in some aspects, it's like a Russian tank, or it's good in some areas and in others. As far as concealment, stationary, it's a 17, which is right along the line of a lot of the tanks. Of course, when it fires, it's 3.37 stationary. Again, right along the line. 12 when it's running. So, and crew members, and different equipment are going to change these numbers, but these are the base numbers, and it's fair to say that. It's not the best, but it's not necessarily going to be the worst. And I'm sure, like most tanks that come out, there'll be the detractors, and then there'll be the people that'll actually get to know the tank and learn how to play it and play it very well. So let's move on to the Tier 9s. All right, Tier 9, CS-59. It's a fairly sharp-looking tank. Forward turret, forward hull of the turret. The turret is on the forward side of the hull, okay, which will increase our gun depression a little bit. Looks like it's got a T53 TP type turret. Got some cheeks. Man, it's got some cheeks. It's almost like a chipmunk. But fairly sharp looking. Got some heat shields and HE shields on the side. So let's see what it says on paper. All right, so CS-59, we've got the 2,659 in DPM, a 390 alpha, 252 penetration, 8.8 reload, 6.82 rounds per minute, 2.50 aim time. Dispersion is 0.38. Top speed is 50, -9 on the gun depression. Hull, not bad. 110, 45, 40, 130, 55, 40 for the turret. 1,800 hit points. Top speed, yeah, we already said that. And it'll fire APCR and AG, obviously, along with the AP. We look at the... but it's a medium. I mean, we've got anywhere from 170, 180, somewhere in there. Cheeks, those cheeks are gonna hurt. I mean, things are just gonna, even against itself, it can pop these things. 100% chance, 100% chance. You got some, as far as even in a hill creeping, it's not, no. Hull down, maybe? No, we can't really say that it's a hull down tank. It's really, it's just going to be a poker, I think. It's obviously kind of like the Leopard. It's going to be a second line, as medium should be, kind of second line support. Let's see what we compare to the other tanks in the Tier 9s. All right. So I play a lot of Tier 9s, so I know a lot of these tanks. 390 Alpha puts it right there in the middle. All right. 252 in the average penetration in the upper portion. Let's see. Reload time. Ooh, 7.72. Well, we're on the lower end of that one. Okay. Gun loading. Or rate of fire, I'm sorry. Gun loading is 8.25. So in the upper side of that. Traverse at 50.13. Yeah, we're in the upper side of that one. Depression versus elevation. Lower end. Aim time, 2.34. Yeah, I'd say it's on the lower end of that one, too. But kind of like the 430, as you can see. Dispersion, 0.36. Looks like we might be on the lower end of that. Average damage, 2836. 2836, yeah. It's in the upper. So, the average DPM puts it a little bit higher. Hit points, 1800. Yeah, it's in the upper side of that. Hull armor. I would say it's in the upper end, but on the lower side of it. Turret armor. I think it's going to suffer in the turret armor department. Let's check the top speed, 5018. Yeah, right. Well, in the upper side. And camo. Not bad, really. Honestly, it's not too bad. Moving. Yeah, that's a little painful. View range is, well, we suffer compared to the Centurion and the Patton and hell, even the Leopard PTA. Weight load or specific power. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely not the Leopard PTA or the Centurion, right? But it's not. It does fairly well. So I think it'll be kind of the middle of the road tier 9. Probably, I don't know. It's going to depend on the gameplay. My gut says it's probably going to fall somewhere close to the T-54, the 430, but more kind of like the Type 61. That's just me. But let's see what the tier 10 says. All right, so here we are, the tier 10, the pièce de résistance, the CS-63. Well, I mean, it's a sharp-looking tank. I'll give it that. I like the look of it. It is running a 105 millimeter. All right. It looks just, I mean, I'm not speechless. It's trying to, it looks almost, kind of like the STB-1. Okay. Obviously the Ford turret. It's got, you can see the Russian design in the T10 little hatch back here, storage place back there. Fairly high profile, big lower plate. Ah, man, that just looks painful. Let's see what it says on paper. All right, well, 2,752 in the DPM, a 390 Alpha, 258 penetration, 8.5 reload, 7.6 rate of fire, 2.3 aim time, 0.36 dispersion. All right. 55 top speed, 15 backwards, for all that reverse driving that we do. -8 in the gun depression. Hull wise, 80, 50, and 40. Yeet. So its turret's stronger. All right. 2,000 HP. View range of 400. Now it says here, enter siege mode. All right. So I wonder if this is like the STB where it's got the, the auto air, hydromatic drive, where it can change the depression. But it doesn't look like it does. So but again, this is common test, so that may have been something they were thinking about. They didn't put in. I don't know. As far as the, turret goes, armor goes, Let's see if I can get that centered. There we go. As we can in a hill creep. I mean, you've got some pretty good. Yeah, your cheeks are still gonna be all right, but I mean, if you can keep that flat plate, that front plate down, frontally, good armor on the outsides, but the cheeks and then that lower plate. So, all right, let's go into the game and see what it compares to the other tier 10s. Now let's just double check. Does this vehicle details? So let's see. Medium tank intended replacement of the T-34-85, developed in Poland, combined with the available designs of the Soviet era. However, okay. Let's see. Project was discontinued. No prototypes were ever built. Depression. Yep, still only 18 configurations. So it doesn't. I don't think that this has a siege mode. I think that Tanks GG is kind of messed up there. All right, let's compare it to the other tier 10s. So again, all configured the same as much as possible. Tier 10, you don't get to choose your the guns and stuff like that. So everything comes fully topped out. We got an average damage of 390, which puts us somewhere in the middle. Not the highest, but not the lowest, obviously. Average penetration of 258. Okay. Kind of with the 121 and the STB. All right, so you can start to see maybe some of the correlations with the STB. Rate of fire, 7.53. Right in the middle. Gun loading. In the upper side, traverse 5.533, 53.33. It's the best in the traverse speed. Okay, that's good. No, not really good in the depression versus elevation. Aim time. Now, why? Okay, so we do have two aim times here, 2.16 and 3.28. That leads me to that we're missing something here. And I haven't had a chance to play this tank yet. I haven't had a chance to play any of these tanks because I can't get into a game. It just will not load games. Not enough players. They're all playing that damn Steel Hunter. I'm not sure. But as far as aim time goes, aiming in seconds, and this is not an autoloader, so that doesn't make sense. But we can see that it's on the lower end of it. Let's see. I want to bring a tank up here that I know has siege mode. And let's see if that doesn't. Medium that we know has siege mode. Let's just throw this in here just for giggles to see here. And if we go across aiming time, nope. So I do not know what that second aiming time is. Dispersion 100 at 100 meters, 0.34. Ooh, we're on the lower end of that one. Average damage 2936. Lower middle. 2,000 hit points. Yeah, we're in the upper portion of that one. Hull armor against the immeasurable 430U. Yeah, no. Even then, the hull armor is not that great. Turret armor. Still not that great. Top speed 55. Yeah, okay. So I mean, it's not too bad. And how we doing on camo? Not too bad on the camo. Yeah. So that would lead me to believe. It must have a turbo. Oh, that's right. You can put a turbo on the motor. The motor has a turbo speed, so that changes your camo a little bit. So maybe that has to do with the second aiming time, aiming while you're driving. I don't know, but so I think it's going to be a lot like the STB one and this one. I think so, or the Leopard one. It's going to be a second line fire support with the speed to get around. So we'll wrap it up with some quick thoughts. And we'll send you on your merry way. All right, so some quick thoughts on the Polish mediums. I think they'll be interesting. You never know what a tank's going to be like in the game. Is it just going to be absolute garbage? I mean, based upon the numbers, these things are not outstanding by any stretch of the imagination, but yet they're not totally inadequate, right? So is Wargaming getting better at putting tanks that kind of fit somewhere in the margins of the game? Possibly. They're not putting out OP lines, possibly, like the 430 line, or the so-called Progetto line, as they're saying now. So they are introducing some different mechanics. I think, like I said, the Tier 10 I think has a turbo boost in it. I don't think we need different gimmicks, but who am I to say, right? It'll be interesting. I will probably start, to be honest with you, when these come out, I will start somewhere around Tier 8. I might go to the Tier 7 and work from there, but I won't go down below Tier 7. I'll free experience. They do take off of the, that's one thing I didn't hit upon, they do take off the 14 TP line. So you'll have to go back and fire that bad boy up and start grinding some experience if you're going to grind this whole line. As far as the amount of experience that it takes for each tank, these are nominal, and then you get into the Tier 7. So, again, I think, people will do it. I will do it. I like medium lines. I enjoy playing mediums. I find out fairly quickly the ones I like and don't like. So my guess is I'll probably like from Tier 8 up. I won't really care about the Tier 7 or lower. The premium tank, obviously, will be interesting. So, food for thought, random thoughts, I think they'll be interesting. They're in the middle of the road, at least based by the numbers that we've seen. Will they change before they come on? I doubt that you'll see any change to the numbers, to be honest with you. If I get some games, I'll put them up. But, that's it. That's what we've got. So y'all take care. Be safe. This is Bonsai Duck out.